This podcast deals with themes, languages, and situations that may not be suitable for young audiences. If you're under the age of 18, parental guidance isn't going to help you here. Welcome to Now Open the Podcast, the sex education podcast that's more sex than education. I'm Drew.
And I am Jobim.
This week, we are taking a look at what's good under the hood, the boy in the boat, the devil's doorbell. So break out the flour tortillas and some shredded cheese. This is part one of Eating the Bean, a.k.a. giving good head. Why did you put Steve Irwin voice? I can't do a Steve Irwin voice.
Give me your best Steve Irwin right now.
Can't do it.
Right
Where
now.
we'll talk
Do it,
about the
Jobim.
elusive clitoris, its whereabouts, and eating habits.
All
If
right.
you want me to do a voice, you have to tell me at least 2 weeks beforehand.
I just put that in there. I was like, she's going to do it. She's not going to do it. She's going to do it.
If you're listening live and like what you hear, you can join the discussion by leaving a comment below and we will get to it as the show goes on. But let's get started. So first things first, I think we need to focus on really like the major player when it comes to eating somebody out. This is like
The mouth.
You're-
The unsung hero of oral. Yes. Tonight's episode will not be about the mouth. Well,
We will
is
have
the
a
main
separate
player then?
episode.
Who is the main player then? I don't know. Is it the vulva? It's the vulva, isn't it?
Well, as our title suggests, the main player here is the bean, which
The bean.
in more, in scientific terms, it would be your clitoris. So eating
I
out,
see.
like eating somebody out has a lot to do with stimulating the clit. But what exactly is the clit, Jobim? Do you know what a clit is?
For a long time, I thought clitoris was the brand of gloves that Manny Pacquiao uses. Because they're apparently called clitoreas. Okay?
Oh no.
They're called clitoreas gloves. And for the early part of his career, he would win with his clitoreas gloves. And post-interview, they would ask him, Manny, what's your secret? You know, I win because of my clitoris. Because my clitoris is the best clitoris. And so I thought that's what it was all throughout high school. But then I watched South Park the movie. I watched it pretty late. I watched it when I was in high school. And there was a part there where Stan finds the clitoris. And after that, I was never confused ever again. So I knew what the clitoris was. I knew what it looked like, and I knew where to find it even before I'd ever seen one in person.
Wow, congratulations, because most people don't even find it after being confronted with it face to face.
How'd you
Face
find
to
your
bean.
clitoris?
How did
Face to
I
bean.
find face to bean?
Wait, first of all, did you know about the clitoris when you started before you started masturbating?
That is a really good question. I would say probably yes and no. Like, yes, I knew that it was there because as a child, I would just hold a mirror up and look down there for some
Right.
reason.
So you knew that
So
there was a nub.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that looks interesting. It's like a tiny penis. But I definitely did not know how to maneuver it. I think I didn't know that it was like a separate thing. I thought it was just like a little nub that's basically the same as everything else.
Mhm.
So I didn't know it was its own special thing that required special attention. So
I
I
thought
actually
girls peed out of it. I thought girls peed from out of there. I thought that's where the pee came out of. I was like, you want me to lick what?
open the schools, Deped.
Yeah.
So, a fun fact about the clitoris: it has no other biological function other than to give whoever has it pleasure. So,
Right.
literally, this tiny thing's entire existence is to make you feel good. Isn't that amazing? That your
How
your
many-
body has one thing that's like, this is it, only purpose.
I'm checking how many nerve endings. There are 8,000 nerve endings in the clitoris. Okay. 8,000 nerve endings in the clitoris, and its only purpose is for pleasure. I don't think that there is another human body that exists solely for pleasure. There are other body parts that give you pleasure. The penis serves to, it feels good when you have sex, but if you simulate it enough, it serves to make you come, right? And the coming in that purpose serves a biological function. But the clitoris, no, it's just there for pleasure, man. That is just nature giving you guys a freebie because it knew that you guys would have to deal with periods and misogyny and like men in general. So it's like, here, have a clit. The penis, you can have the best part. Here's just like a tiny head. Here's a tiny, and it's tiny so that you guys won't have to spend your entire lives comparing each other's like clit heads. So all of the pleasure, none of the competition.
And you never get weird erections.
Right.
Like
unless you have one of those long clits, which we also respect.
Mad respect. But how about you, Jabim? Have you ever had any trouble finding the clit?
No, I my older sisters had some very inappropriate friends, and they would get drunk, and they teach a young me very, very inappropriate things about like how to find the clit. This is what you do. Before I had even, I felt like a Marine who was trained from boot camp all the way up. So when I got to the war zone, I was prepared. I felt like I was armed with the knowledge. I was given a lot of training beforehand, so I didn't have any difficulty finding the clitoris myself. Did you?
I sort of did, but I think it's because people with vaginas, their clits aren't always exactly in the same place. I mean, yes, typically the clit is at the very tip of the vulva.
Yeah, I've never seen a clit at the bottom. I've never seen a clit near the gooch.
You
It's
know
a mole.
what? It's very I don't know. Like I've also never heard of that, but I feel like it's very possible that could happen.
Underclit,
yeah. But typically, it's at the very tip of the vulva. But for everybody, that's kind of positioned in different places, especially in relation to other body parts. Some people have it a little bit lower. Some people have it a little bit higher. So, like when I'm having sex with somebody new and I have no clue where it is, I have to like literally go there and like, where is it?
Oh yeah, you're right. I was fortunate to have partners who had obvious clits when I was younger. As I got older, some got some are hooded, you don't know. Some are hiding. Some are not as obvious as others. Some are, innies. It's weird.
Exactly. Yeah. So the clit is covered by a clitoral hood. And for some people, this kind of does cover the clit that you can't really see it without spreading things apart. But for some people, especially if you're aroused and your clit's already engorged, then it may peek out from under the hood. So what we call the clit is actually the outer part of the clitoris, like that little nub that you see extending past a woman's body
it's
or a
the
person
face.
with a vagina body. Yeah, or it's just the face. But actually, the entire clitoris, like the whole thing, is much bigger. It actually goes way deeper, and most of it you cannot see. You can only see that tiny little nub.
It kind of looks like a giraffe with two necks.
What?
Yeah, the illustration of a clitoris kind of looks like a giraffe with two necks.
That is not a sentence I thought I would hear.
And huge breasts. Anyway.
So this wonderful part of our anatomy has really so much more to it than its outside parts. So we're going to go a little bit more in depth into the second part, the inside part. So there's something called the crura, and then there's also something called the vestibular bulbs. Yes, let's go.
The crura?
Crura.
The crura and the vestibular bulbs. Yes. Love this dirty talk.
I know, sexy. Say it more. So research has
Lick
shown...
my crura.
So research has shown that the G-spot, what we call the G-spot, which is to the uninitiated, the G-spot can vary per person, but generally it's when you go in and up a little bit, in and up,
like a soft spongy bit.
Yeah, like if you just try, you go there, it's a little bit spongy. That's your G-spot. But actually, the G-spot is not a body part. It's not a separate thing. It's actually part of your clitoris. So this is the place where the sides of your vestibular bulbs make contact with your vaginal walls. So actually, you know how we talked about different orgasms? You have like orgasm from penetration, clitoral orgasm, and G
Yes.
spot orgasm. What we call a G spot orgasm is actually still a clitoral orgasm. It's just the inside.
You're just
So you have,
touching your clit from the inside.
yes, it's amazing. You can touch your clit from inside, outside. Ugh, what a beautiful body part, right?
You have no excuse to not find the clit. It's huge.
It's gigantic.
Yeah, inside
Okay.
and out. Okay.
So we're gonna
Uh,
go a little bit more into the anatomy of the
mhm.
clit, but Jobim, can you take us into our very special newsstand for this evening?
Before we get back into the discussion tonight, here is the newsstand. The legislative proposal raising the age of sexual consent in the Philippines is close to hurdling the Senate. Members of the Senate on Tuesday, September 21, approved on second reading Senate Bill number 2332, which would amend the country's revised penal code to raise the age for determining statutory rape from 12 to 16 years old. Before their approval, senators had lengthy debates on the provisions of the bill, including a suggestion to raise the proposed age of consent from 16 to 17. Senator Juan Miguel Zubiri, one of the principal authors of the bill, explained that the age of consent of 16 was proposed in consideration of the traditions of indigenous and Muslim people who were allowed to marry early. Voting 13-4 to 2, they agreed that the exemption from criminal liability shall cover partners 16 years old and below with age difference of not more than 3 years, but shall not apply if the victim is aged 13 and below. So kind of a Romeo and Juliet rule happening here.
Mhm.
Apart from the raising of the age of sexual consent, Zubiri said that the bill also amends the language of the law to be gender responsive, to reflect that rape is committed by a person who shall have carnal knowledge against any person, rather than the previous definition that rape is between a man and a woman only. Currently, the Philippines has one of the lowest ages for determining statutory rape across the world, second only to Niger
Yes.
at 11 years old.
So this is like some incredibly great news because we've talked about the age of consent before on the show, especially in our episode on pedophilia. So you can check that out if you've missed
Right.
it. And this has like been like a really long fight. I think they've been trying to get this age of consent raised for years, if not decades now. But this is some really great news, and I'm glad that they're also amending the language to reflect
Right.
more like gender neutral, because the previous language did make it like specifically like a predatory man and then like
Mm-hmm.
raping a woman. But I want to kind of zero in here on the sweetheart clause, because I saw that there's like a lot of debate right now on social media about this Romeo and Juliet clause of if you're 13, then you can have sex with somebody up to the age of 16. And
Right.
some people are saying it kind of obfuscates
No,
or
no, no.
makes
Sorry.
the policy
It's
different.
it doesn't
Oops.
apply if you're age 13 and below. So you have to be 14 who can sleep with somebody who is 17.
Oh, okay. Got it. All right.
So if you're
So
13, it does not apply anymore.
okay. So yeah, there's like a lot of debate on social media now whether or not this sweetheart clause should be included. The one person who abstained, Coco Pimentel, he got a lot of crap online for abstaining, but he released his statement saying that the reason why he had abstained is because of the sweetheart clause, because it adds a loophole
Mhm.
to the law and could be opened up for further abuse. But what do you think about sweetheart clauses, Jabem?
Uh, I don't know, man. It seems weird to me because okay, the first time I ever heard about a sweetheart clause is because of a Transformers movie. There's a part there where like Mark Wahlberg's daughter is underage and she's dating somebody who's older, and he brings it up like he had the legal document, like he had the legal explanation in his back pocket, and that seemed like the creepiest thing to me. Why do you know that? Like, you know, when you see Machine Gun Kelly, and he looks like the kind of dude who's memorized the age of consent in all states of the U.S. It just
I'm
seems like
sure
that
he
kind of
has.
right. He gives off that vibe.
If he,
Anyway,
as if he cares, though.
yeah, to me, it serves to protect kids who are in love, right? It serves to protect kids exploring their sexuality to not go to jail. But it can also be very, very easily exploited. I think you should make I think 3 years might be a little too big of an age gap. I
Hmm.
mean, if you're underage and you really want to have sex, just wait an extra year, I guess. You know, I mean, do something else, man. I think 3 years might be too big of an age gap for me.
Yeah, I think if you're 14 and you're dating a 17-year-old, that's a very, very
Yeah.
big age gap at that
I,
age.
at 17, look, I think you're basically an adult already. You're a year away from being considered an adult by law, right? You're a year away from that. And if you're sleeping with a 14-year-old, that seems really, really messed up to me.
Yeah, that is absolutely messed up. I do think, I don't know, I find it very difficult to reconcile how, teenagers will have sex.
Right.
That's just the truth. And they will have sex with each other.
Mhm.
And I hope only with each other and not with anybody older or younger. But like, would they get penalized for this then? So we're basically telling children or teenagers that I'm sorry, you really cannot have any kind of sex. And
Well,
I'm not sure I necessarily agree with that, but I also understand that loopholes, people will exploit the loopholes because people are terrible.
we're looking at what this law will affect, but really what they're saying is it's to include the religious practices of other people, right? So they're keeping it in there for the purpose of aiming at that specifically. What we're talking about is how it's going to affect everything else, right? So it's not according to them the main issue at play here. It's for them religious inclusivity and not children having sex. Anyway,
To be fair, I think 16 is a very good age to start having sex. It's like
yeah, so do I.
not too old,
Yeah. Yeah.
not too young. I think it's a good age. I wish I
Uh,
waited till I was 16.
I don't mind that children are having sex with 16. I just mind that they're making such horrible decisions about who to sleep with. I'm just imagining, oh God, the people you're sleeping with at 16, they're never the quality, they're never quality people.
Mm-mm.
They're just not. They're practice people. Anyway, that was the newsstand. Now sitting down. Now onto the show.
All right, so let's get on with some more anatomy of the clit. So earlier we were talking about this little nub that when I first saw it, I described as, wow, it's like a little penis.
Right.
And
Yeah.
this isn't entirely wrong or entirely inaccurate because like we can look at it as sort of like a female penis, largely due
It
to
is.
a phenomenon that we can refer to as biological homology. Wow, so much science in this episode.
What is biological homology, Trisha?
So biological homology, it's the fact that all fetuses are born with basically exactly the same parts, just organized differently. So think
Right.
about your nipples, Jobem, as you do on the regular, right? So you are
Done.
never
Done.
going
Already doing it.
you're never going to need your nipples, you're not gonna express, you're not gonna like give out milk, you're not gonna breastfeed, right? But
Right.
you
Right.
still have nipples. And the
That's true.
reason that you still have nipples is because, like pretty much all body parts, it's pre-programmed at the earliest stages of development. So even before your sex gets determined, by whatever going on in there, you have your nipples already.
Yep.
So men and women, or like m- male, female, XXXY, we actually mirror each other physiologically to a very great extent. So
Right.
the clit develops, and the way the clit develops and the penis develops are pretty much the same. And then when the sex comes into play, they get expressed
Right.
differently.
We use
So
this analogy a lot on the show, but it's just because it's so appropriate. It's like human beings are EVs, right? We all start out as EVs, and then depending on which stone you get exposed to, your chromosomes, your genetics, you will turn into, biologically a woman or biologically male, and that's why you have nipples and your clitoris and your penis start out the same way. They both start out as EVs.
yeah, and if you look at a diagram of a penis and the diagram of the clitoris and all the inside parts, they actually have like a one-to-one correspondence. So
Mhm.
the penis head is, oh, there we go. Yeah, we got a picture. The penis head directly
There's the
corresponds.
long-necked giraffe. See,
Okay, you know what? I see it now.
two necks and
Okay,
huge
so
tits.
so the penis head directly corresponds to the clitoris. This is like the glans. And then the shaft of the penis is kind of that little, the shaft also of the clitoris that connects it to the bigger inside part of the clitoris.
Mhm.
Then your bulbs in your penis is actually inside your shaft. And that little testicle looking thing on the clitoris side, those are your bulbs. So that's kind of where your G spot is. And then your crus, well, they're very similar on both the penis and the clitoris. So as you see, it's literally just the exact same thing expressed in a slightly different shape. So yeah, they're just
Question:
different Pokemon evolutions.
where are my balls in that diagram?
They're
Where are my
not in
balls
there.
located? Where would my balls be in that diagram?
It would be like somewhere around the crus area, like right down there.
At like the bottom of the crust. So this
Yeah, the
entire
bottom of the
thing,
crust.
this
That's where your balls
so
are.
the so the sad part, the part that's like leaning, looking down on the ground. That's not the penis shaft. That's the whole penis shaft.
Okay, the part that looks kind of sad.
Yeah, that looks
That's
like
your
it's done something
shaft.
wrong. It's
Yeah,
ashamed.
that's
Yeah,
your outside
that's
shaft.
the outside shaft, and everything
Yeah.
else is like inside my body now.
Yes, that's inside your body now.
Oh, okay, okay, I get it. That's why getting licked down your gooch feels so good too, because it's still
Hmm.
part of your man clit. I'm gonna make man clit a thing from now on. Suck my man clit.
I
Anyway,
love that. That's beautiful. Okay, so that's it for part one of Eating the Bean, aka Giving Good Head. Make sure to stay tuned for part two, where we'll talk about eating people out like a champion Olympian sent from the gods. You're not going to want to miss it. Take us away, producer, to our break.
Kahit ayaw mo na, kahit laging masungit ka, kahit lumayo ka pa, kahit pigilan ng tadhana, ikaw pa rin sila.
I'm back.
That was Ilyana and Guile, a new but determined independent acoustic folk duo. Just a couple of days after releasing their single Kahit, their song was streamed almost 3,000 times. You can stream their music now on Spotify as well as follow them on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and SoundCloud. If you want to be featured on the show, we would love to. Please send your clips to nowopenph@gmail.com.
All
And
right,
welcome back to Now Open the Podcast, the sex education podcast that's more sex than education. I am Drew.
and I am Jobim.
This week, we're spreading the truth about spreading labias, demystifying the wondrous world of nature's Rubik's Cube, the clitoris. In part one, we broke out all of the clitoris facts and the good anatomy bits. This is part two of Eating the Bean, aka How to Give Good Head Girl, where we'll talk about the practice, the application, and dare we say the philosophy of giving amazing head.
All right.
So, Jobim, my first question to you: do you enjoy eating people out?
Yes, it depends. It really depends. I think the experience of eating somebody out also depends on how good the person is at receiving oral. Because my enjoyment is derived from how much I think you are enjoying. So if you're just gonna starfish there while I'm, like spelling the fucking alphabet with my tongue on your clitoris, then no, I'm not gonna enjoy it. So it's a hit or miss kind of situation.
I like that you said that because, but how very uncommon to hear somebody say, "My pleasure is your pleasure," and if you're not enjoying yourself, I'm not enjoying it. That's a really
I
great
think
mindset to have.
I think generally speaking, guys that like to go down on women have that mindset. I don't encounter a lot of dudes who say, "Yeah, I eat pussy," you know, for my for my gain. No, it's for me, man. It's super. No, we eat pussy because we enjoy knowing that we make you feel good, right? We get no enjoyment from it otherwise. I don't get off on my tongue.
Some people might.
Oh yeah, some people do. I don't though. But anyway, yeah.
As a vagina owner, there was a time when I would tell you that I did not enjoy oral. There was a time when I would have told you I did not enjoy my clit being stimulated.
Yeah, there are a lot of women.
Uh,
I know a lot of women who tell me that actually, and it. My general reaction used to be like, "What? Why?" But then I realized, no, that's making somebody feel weird for the way they do things down there. So I stopped doing that. Why was that the case for you?
So this was around the time also that I wasn't sure if I could orgasm. And then when I finally figured out that, oh, I can orgasm, it's just that I didn't have the partners who could do it for me.
Right.
And then I went on to, oh, I guess I can only really orgasm from not necessarily penetrative sex. I would still like be on top and be stimulating my own clit. So I knew it was a clitoral orgasm. But at that point, I had never had an orgasm from somebody just purely going down on me.
Mhm.
And also at this point, there weren't a lot of people who would go down on me for extended periods of time. So it's not like I could even have the experience to say that I enjoyed oral, because the ones who did go down on me, like, will go down on you for like 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's
And
just
then they'll
like
be like,
literally to
okay,
get
we're
you
done
wet.
now.
Yeah, yeah. It's lubed up. I can go in now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like, so for a really, really long time, I did not like oral, or I thought
Mhm.
I did not like oral. And then when I finally had a partner who was like, no, I'm just going to go down on you for a pretty long time, it was life changing. It's like everything I knew about myself was wrong.
Oh no, I'm a taker. I'm a taker.
Yeah,
I'm not
I
a
used
giver
to
after all.
I used to be like, nah, I just really like giving in sex. I don't like
Right,
taking. And I realized it's because nobody knew how to give it to me. And now that
right.
somebody gave it to me, I just don't, I want to take all day.
And I think that's a common experience for a lot of people who are good in bed. They all started out as people who had low self-esteem. If you started out being good in bed, chances are it's because you didn't even think about taking any pleasure for yourself the first few times you had sex. It's because all you were concerned about is making the other person feel good.
Yeah, and I think this is why like the mindset that you have going into oral sex is incredibly important, because I mean, any kind of sex, there's always a psychological aspect to it. It's not just purely physical. I mean, it is entirely possible to have a purely physical, satisfying, enjoyable experience, but more often than not, especially if you have a vagina, like you need to be in the right mindset to be able to enjoy oral.
Right.
And like there's a lot of reasons why you wouldn't be able to enjoy oral. Like I think the number one reason, as a person with a vagina, that I did not enjoy it was because
The
I was
economy.
anxious.
Oh
I
yeah, that too.
was self-conscious. I knew that vaginas had a smell, and I knew that men were awful and can be super, super mean and
Right.
judgmental. And they probably just watch a lot of porn, which doesn't have any smell to it. So,
Right.
you know,
Right. Oh my God. The first time I smelled a vagina, I was a little confused. I wasn't disgusted, but like,
but you're
you know,
confused.
I know what I smell like when I take my pants off and I sit down at the toilet and it wafts up. I was not expecting to get that smell from another human being. I'd never smelled another human being's crotch. And okay, it's the same thing as when you smell your own fart, you don't mind it. You know the smell of your own fart.
Oh, yeah.
But then
Love
you
it.
smell
Love
somebody
it.
else's fart and you're like, that doesn't smell that smells horrible. But then you fart and then somebody else's farts and you don't know whose fart you're smelling anymore, and you're like, does it smell good or bad? I don't know. So I was confused because I knew that smell, but it was coming from somebody else. And yeah.
Yeah. So, like, just like, I think that is like a major psychological obstacle. And I
Oh,
think that
absolutely.
people who do go down on other people, that's also a psychological obstacle for them, because I mean, vaginas have a smell, and sometimes it's great and sometimes it's not so great.
Yeah, but
And when it's
we've also talked about this on the show previous. I mean, it's also down to your chromosomes, something that somebody might be absolutely repulsed by, a smell, your bodily smell, excuse me, that somebody might be repulsed by, another person might find very, very attractive. So it's also a matter of finding the right person. I
yeah,
have
it's
questioned
preferences.
relationships where yeah, no, because you definitely know. Okay, when you're with somebody and you love the smell of their genitals or whatever their pheromones,
Mhm.
you can tell when if they sweat and they smell bad to you. It gets in your mind. You're like, am I going to have to spend the rest of my life finding this person's smell unbearable? I love everything else about them, but there's just something that turns me off.
Yeah, that makes sense, because like you can still have somebody who like smells, but you love it. You love how they smell, so it's not
Exactly,
unbearable.
exactly.
So like, so that's like one issue, really. It's like how you smell, how you taste, which is related to how you smell. Okay, you know what? I think I actually was even more worried about how I tasted than how I smelled.
Yeah,
Like,
the first few times I think I got a blowjob, I wasn't able to get hard because I was so self-conscious. I was so self-conscious about like, I mean, you're hard when you're petting and like kissing and stuff like that, but as soon as the pants come down and it's real, it's out, and her mouth is about to go on your dick, you're like, oh no, don't go near there. It's not ready.
Customer Matt says, add salt. Maybe a squeeze of lime while you're at it. No, do not put any citrus.
A nice ceviche.
Do not put any citrus down there.
Or ketchup or chocolate, I guess. Yeah. If you want to experiment with that sort of stuff. But also, I think that people who, this is just me, but I think people who are really too sensitive about the smell down there just have an immature kind of perspective on what a person is supposed to smell like, unless it smells totally funky, like that a human should not smell like that, then you don't have a right to complain because everybody smells like that.
Yeah, like again, like some people, like they'll smell differently because of their diet. Maybe they're a smoker, or maybe they have an infection, and and that's always like really awkward. By the way, when you go down on someone and you have to tell them later, I think you have to get checked.
You
that
have
has
like
happened to me.
You have a white line of yeast down your chin.
Yeah,
you're
you're
like,
just
I
like,
think you need to see your doctor.
Yeah. So, but like in like it's not gonna kill you either.
Right.
And in most cases, it's just a very healthy smell. It's just that you're not used to it. But that is a major psychological obstacle for people to start enjoying oral sex.
Right.
Another one is that like a lot of people just don't know what to do down there. And like as we said in the intro, it's like nature's Rubik's Cube because not because it's like necessarily difficult to figure out, but because each person is so unique. Like I guess I wonder, is there less variance, you think, in pleasing somebody with a penis and pleasing somebody with a vagina?
I absolutely think that. I absolutely believe that. I mean, there have been so many stand-up routines based on that very premise, right? If you know how to work one penis, you know how to work every penis. It's like it's the same thing, There is a head, there is a shaft, there is a base, unless it's like one of those like mushroom penises that's all head sitting on like acorns. You know how to work one penis, you know how to work them all. If you know how to work one vagina, and you know how to work just that vagina, just that one. The next one you meet is a completely different vagina. You will not know. You're lost in Narnia all over again.
We have an input from our customer Jed who says, "Oh, eating coochie is definitely easier than sucking D." And I'm like, maybe physically, I will agree with you. Physically speaking, it is easier.
I find it way more difficult to keep my jaw locked and do this for 30 fucking minutes than to do this with my tongue. I just don't agree.
Right, like I would say that's why like going down on someone is like eating somebody out is physically easier on your jaw. I got TMJ, so sucking D isn't exactly in my cards anymore.
But eating coochie is easier than sucking dick. Yeah, okay.
Eating coochie is easier physically, but I would say that like technique-wise, it is more difficult. And I say this as a person who loves eating coochie and has eaten more coochie, I think, than dicks that have been sucked. Jabim is right. You know how to eat one person out, you know how to eat one person out. So every new person is like a process of learning how their clit works. While my experience with sucking D is, you're right. What works for one, typically the skill transferred over multiple partners.
Yeah.
So that's a really big obstacle. It's just that the fear of not knowing what to do down there and just kind of like trying whatever sticks, that can make for a really bad oral sex experience.
Yeah. You suck a dick a first time, you'll get the same reaction you get when you suck a dick the 1,000th time. If you go down on one person, if you go down on someone who has a vagina one way and you try to do that to the next person, they will literally be like, what the fuck are you doing? What is happening? Don't make me come down there.
And I think like, okay, one of my biggest gripes really about oral sex is the idea that blowjobs are a normal part of foreplay. Right. And to a point, they're almost kind of expected, right? Like, dudes just generally, right? It's porn because porn is typically structured as blowjob first and then sex, right? So foreplay. That's what happens.
Yeah, when they say foreplay, they really mean blowjob. That's really all they're talking about. There's no foreplay. It means that they're both doing things. So there's no foreplay. It's just head, just dick
Or as
sucking.
we mentioned earlier, the foreplay is they'll go down on you long enough to get you like
Right.
surface wet, not even like inside wet, just like, okay, the outside's covered in my saliva, we're good.
No, the
You know?
foreplay is a 2-second clip. It's a 2-second thing in their time thingy there, and it's just the guy going, and it's just fucking. That's it. There's no foreplay. It's done. But there has been it's unfair to keep blaming that on porn now, because I have been noticing, to be fair to the people who make porn, a rising trend, a consistent trend in going down on women being featured in more straight porn. I think it's just because there's an uptick in women watching porn. I've also seen an uptick in production value, in less of the male gaze being in these pornos, and they're supposedly it's supposedly straight porn, which traditionally has been made for men. So it's nice. It's nice seeing a shift in porn that way.
Yeah, and I really think this is also partially because people with vaginas now are asserting their
Right.
sexual
The
needs, and
sexuality.
they're like, you
Yeah.
gotta go down on me, yo. Like we're starting to, or we've already had that conversation about how it's extremely important for that to happen. And it's starting to have much more value now. I am very envious because when I was still sleeping with men, this was not the conversation. This was definitely not the conversation. I have had men refuse or ask, why do I want to do that? Or like, well, you're not my girlfriend, so I'm not going to do that. And I'm like,
Yeah, then you should say that I won't suck your dick then, because you're not my boyfriend. I don't know. I think those two things go hand in hand. The thing that you mentioned earlier about women being insecure about their vaginas, something that we discuss often on this show, on this podcast, because there's a stigma around the vagina. It stinks, it looks weird. Because vaginas look so different from one another, women are taught that their vaginas must look weird then. But you see the same fucking penis on every anatomy chart, and dudes are like, "That's my dick." Actual size, the same fucking joke every time. But yeah, so I think it's that you're not confident. You're already not confident. You're already insecure about your vagina. It's hard for you to go out of your way to demand that somebody go down there when you can't guarantee that he's going to enjoy the experience. The difference between men and women really is that men don't care. We don't care whether you enjoy the smell or the look. We're just happy that somebody's sucking our dicks. And I think that if more women want to get their head in foreplay, just be more confident in your vagina. Your vagina is beautiful and deserves to be played with and sucked and licked. And you should demand that for yourself if you want that for yourself in bed.
yeah, I will say that sometimes it is you yourself who is propagating this. I think back to younger me
Mm-hmm.
when I was in my early 20s, late teens. Actually, I'd say like even until like maybe like my mid 20s. Like with my last boyfriend, he wanted to go down on me the first night we had sex. And I told him I was so conscious about it because my ex had told me some weird things about my vagina, so I was very, very conscious about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him not until the 10th date. It was a completely arbitrary number. I was just trying to postpone
You just
it.
thought it'd buy you more time.
Yeah, I was like, I just need some time, yo.
We'll have a date a month.
Right. And like, maybe we won't even get to 10 dates and I don't have to deal with this, right? But we
Right.
did get to 10 dates. I ended up dating this guy for 4 years. So we did get to 10 dates. And I remember, I didn't even know. I completely forgot about my arbitrary number there. And then on the 10th date, he was like, it's the 10th date. And I was like, huh? And then all of a sudden, oh no. And then I didn't prepare myself mentally, but I had already said 10th dates. I couldn't postpone it anymore, and I thought like, okay, I'm very sex positive. I thought I would be over this. And then after he and I broke up 4 years later, so I'm like 25 now. This is just a few years ago. I meet my current partner and I still say no to her going down on me on the first date.
Yeah.
Like I was just like,
just because you've unlearned a behavior with one person, it doesn't mean you've unlearned it with everybody. You have to keep unlearning that with new people every time. So yeah. Pretty cool that you were able to get over it, though. If you knew that you could get over it once, you can definitely get over it again.
I mean, it really helped that being with another woman, who also has a vagina and is just like a huge raging lesbian who worships your vagina, right? I've
Right.
never had it worshipped before. Like men don't do that.
She
They're
has
not
an
like, oh, it's
altar,
so
a
beautiful.
candle.
Yeah, it's and just like sometimes just like staring at it, not even doing anything, just being like, wow,
Yeah.
that's beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, like having somebody adore you in that way that I've never felt before made me really confident in it and made me a lot more receptive to oral sex because it's like, you know what? She's right. My pussy is awesome.
But when I do it, I get kicked out of the grocery store. Double standards. Anyway,
You have to go to SM, not Vistas.
because they've got it all for you.
Exactly.
Okay. Opening up. Do we do opening up?
Yeah, let's do
All right,
it.
yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. For today's opening up, we have an anonymous letter. Anonymous writes. Oh, that's very appropriate. I know vaginas have natural smells. Yes, they do. Very good. A plus. But the idea of it not smelling enticing enough makes me feel self-conscious to open up about wanting to try it with my partner. So is there any way to make it smell better? Okay.
Question.
Trisha?
All right. Well, there's I feel like two parts to this question.
Yep.
There is the question that you asked, which is any way to make it smell better.
Mhm.
And then the question that you didn't ask, which is how do I feel better about this?
Yes.
Because,
Which is the actual solution to the problem.
which is the actual solution. I mean, we will definitely give you some
Yes.
advice for the how to make it smell better
Yes.
a little bit, but I think first you need to evaluate, do you really smell bad or are you just not comfortable with your own vagina smell?
Mhm.
And I think what you have to do is you have to really get to know your vagina. So you got to know what it smells like on a regular day. You know what it smells like on your period so that you know when something is wrong because it's entirely possible that you're conscious about it because you have bacterial vaginosis or something. Like I've had bacterial vaginosis. It smells awful. You can smell it from outside clothing. It's very awful. So if that is the case and you know that something's really funky and really weird and off your base standard of smell, then please do see a gynecologist and they can put you on some treatment. But if this is just really how your vagina smells, like that's your baseline, then you just got to get comfortable with it, Um vaginas aren't meant to smell enticing. I love how you smell you use the word smells
Yeah,
enticing. And
enticing.
I'm like, what does enticing smell like? Does it smell like a turkey feast?
Look, if your dude is into you, your vagina is going to smell enticing no matter what you do. You could drag it through like garbage. You could jump into payatas right now and he'd still smell that and be like, what's for dinner?
I will tell you that there have been times after a particularly good sex session with somebody, and then you just kind of have the smell of their vagina in your brain, and then suddenly you smell it somewhere for whatever reason, and you're like, transports you to a different place. There will be people.
You're just like on the bus going.
You're like. So in some cases, the smell can actually be a really good thing. So be comfortable with your smell, love your smell. I don't know if smelling another person's vagina will help you, but if somebody will allow you to do that, it might make you feel better about your own because you'll realize, oh, we all smell like this. But if you do want to make it smell better, quite easy. Better diet, really. What you eat will affect how you smell and taste. So I know smoking will make you taste weirder. Asparagus also will make you taste kind of strange. Pineapples actually do work. That is actually I don't know if it's scientific, but I've tried it multiple times and anecdotally it works.
And look, if you don't want to try any of the anything out there or anything too drastic, because there are lots of lubes, flavored lubes you could get. There's a lot of fun to make your vagina smell really enticing in an unnatural but still fun way. But if you don't want to do anything too much, just a quick wash. Really, honestly, your vagina, there is no vagina in the world that smells healthy vagina anyway. In the world, it smells so horrible that it will not smell neutral with a quick wash, with vaginal wash. It's as simple as that. It's really as simple as that. And believe me, it is enough.
I would actually recommend not using vaginal wash, just water. Your
yeah, just water, dude. It's
Just
fine,
do a
really.
quick bidet down there right before.
And you will be fine. Just wipe away the sweat and whatever libag you have there. You're good. You're golden. All right. And now, if you'd like to send your anonymous questions or confessions, you can submit through our opening up form. And now, back to the discussion.
All right. So we're nearing the end of our discussion on this, and I think we need to give some tips and tricks to people who are listening out there and who may not know how to go down on someone. So, a few things I think you need to remember, again, in line with our opening up, is smells and tastes differ. You know,
Mhm.
people with vaginas don't smell like flowers down there. Maybe you'll meet one person who does, but the next person
Some people
definitely
do.
probably won't. Yeah.
You know what? I'm sorry. You mentioned that, and I think this is still up for our anonymous letter writer. Here's a neat little trick. If you want your vagina to smell good, make sure that your underwear is always perfumed. If you use that Downy underwear that has the perfume smell, if your underwear smells good and it covers your vagina the whole day, by the time you take it off, your vagina is going to smell like that underwear. It's going to smell like Downy. And it works, dude.
But be very careful about the kind of detergents that you use, because some of them
Yes.
can irritate you down there and make it worse, because now there's just too much going on. And definitely do not spray alcohol or cologne on your vagina
Oh, don't do
or
that.
on your panties. It will cause even more bacterial vaginosis, which will make it worse.
Mhm.
So yeah, just like accept that things will be different because of who they are, genetics, how they eat, if they like worked out that day, whatever. It's going to be a variety. So don't expect a particular smell and just kind of run with it, really. Again, unless there's an infection or something, it should be tolerable. Also with that, the way that the vulva and like the different parts, like where they're located, how they look, that's
Mhm.
going to differ from person to person. So don't
Sometimes it's going
expect
to look like
porn.
a Mama Mary apparition. Sometimes it's going to look like the Predator from Predator. Either way, a vagina is still a vagina, and it's totally normal.
Yeah. And pubes are also a part of it. Okay, like as a person who has sex with other women, I understand that sometimes it gets in the way and it is a lot easier to shave, but that is not on you to decide. That's always on whoever owns the pubes. They get to decide if they
Yeah.
want to shave or not. Of
You can
course,
also
if
totally decline. You can also totally decline on going down on someone with like a full bush, like a full afro down there if you're not into it.
absolutely.
I know
My
I have,
partner
man.
has also declined because not because of anything, but just because like it's itchy, it can cause
Yeah,
acne. There's a
yeah.
lot of reasons, really. So
I
you
don't
can
like it
decline.
because it gets in my nostrils. Okay,
What?
don't fucking laugh. It does. Okay. When I am down there and it's long enough and you feel it like going into your nose, it's like, no. You just can't
You know what?
concentrate.
I am too much of a people pleaser. Like even if like it's harder for me to work with pubes, I will still do it, and I'm just going to like secretly, without like while your eyes are closed, I'm gonna pick pubes out of my pubes. Like that's while.
I'm not subtle. At one time, I was about to go down on someone, and there was like a full bush of pubes, and I pantomimed putting on goggles, and it went. Did
I'm a
not find
lot
it
less
funny.
subtle when I'm
It was
dealing with a
worth it.
penis. Like I will express my resentment. But when it's a vagina, yeah, I'll be like "Ugh," groaning while I'm pushing the pubes down. But when it comes to people with vaginas, I don't know. I guess like because I know that people are generally much more insecure down there, I try not to say anything
Right,
and I
right.
just go with it. But yeah, so those are just things to keep in mind. But let's get into some techniques. Joe Bim, you are a master eater outer.
I was just about this. No matter how good I think I am at going down on women, I'm still talking to a card carrying lesbian here. I mean, well, somebody who has fucked more women, has gone down on more women than I have. That'd kind of be
I
like,
don't actually know if that's true.
you have a vagina. That'd be like Michael Phelps teaching a dolphin how to swim. Okay, I have nothing to contribute in the conversation of. Okay, so I can give you what I do. This is just what I do. I don't know if it's gonna work for you. And I don't know whether your partner is going to enjoy it, but so far the track record's been pretty solid for me. If I'm going to go down on someone and it's just literally about going down on someone, because sometimes you like to do that. You know, sometimes you want to have sex and you just want to give to your partner. So, you know you're going to end up at the clit, but you do not start there. You start everywhere but. You start as far away from the clit as you can possibly find. If your partner likes foot stuff, you start at the toes. If your partner likes being kissed on their neck, you kiss their back of their neck. And then you stimulate, you awaken the different parts of their body, right? Because you're not ticklish right away. You have to get tickled first a little bit in order for that part of your body to be sensitive. If somebody drags their finger across your forearm, it's not ticklish right away. But if somebody caresses your neck first, the next touch you feel wherever it's going to be around your body, it's electric. So you start everywhere. You awaken all the different parts of their body from head to toe, and then you hit the different erogenous zones. My rule of thumb is any part of the body that does not see sunlight or feel wind is sensitive. So yes, so the back of the ears, the back of the ears, any joints, the neck, the inside of the arm, the back of the knees, the seeing it. Anywhere that bends or does not get sunlight or wind, because it does not get, those are the parts of your body that are least exposed to sensation. So when they feel something, it's really intense.
That's
And then
a
you work
really
your,
good point because a lot of people look at cunnilingus and whatever as foreplay, but
Mhm.
it actually is a sex act on its own.
Yes.
So it's like the foreplay to the foreplay. You need to have foreplay before you even like you don't attack the clit right away.
Yeah. This what I'm talking about right now is not foreplay. The cunnilingus is the main event. That is the climax. That is the show. So everything else you're doing is preparing for that. It is getting everything ready. It's heating up the oven, so to speak. So once everything is stimulated, then I like to like put legs up and then just like lick the ass, like ass cheeks, back of the thighs, back of the calves, go everywhere, and then go around the vagina, just everywhere around the vagina. Because if you look at the diagram, Presh, could you pull up that diagram, please, of the vagina of the clitoris that we had earlier? Yeah. So if you look around the clitoris, there's that the bulbs. You can lick around the bulbs and the legs for a pretty good time and stimulate the clitoris and build that up. Thank you, Pressure. Before you actually get to the clitoris, so it's teasing everything. It's beating, literally beating around the bush, going around in circles before you get to the main show. And then by that time, you'd have built up anticipation. It's as much mental as it is physical. You'd have built up the anticipation. If you can make them feel like they're feeling this intense without even touching your clitoris, it is the expectation of how amazing is it going to feel when they finally get to the clitoris that makes the sensation so intense and pleasurable. So when you finally get to it, you flatten out your tongue. Don't do the little flicky thing because you've already built this whole thing. Don't ruin it. Don't ruin it with the little flicky thing right away. You're going no. You flatten out your tongue and then you start from the very bottom of the vagina, even though you don't think it's not sensitive down there. After everything you've done, trust me, it's going to be sensitive. You
Mm-hmm.
lick slowly from the bottom all the way to the tip. Then once you get to the tip, you stay there and you gently massage slowly. And then from there, you respond to what the person's body is telling you. But that is my general process for that.
I love how you said I have nothing to contribute. Proceeds to talk for 5 minutes.
I am a teacher
detail.
compared to you. I have one thing, right? I have a thing. I have a move. But once you've experienced that several times, it's kind of like, you're just lying there like, just get to the clit already, dude. I wouldn't say that I have the tools to improvise on the go. I have that script. So
Well,
what
what
are
you
what are
said
your
about
what's in your
what you
toolbox?
said about like responding right to your partner's
Mhm,
body,
mhm.
I think that's really important because again, everybody is different and you're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna accidentally poke too hard or go too fast or do something. That's going to happen. Try not to take that personally because if your partner is communicating with you what they want, then listen to them because they know better than you. Put
Absolutely.
aside your ego. Don't think you know better than them.
You're doing it too
I
hard. I'm
think
not
that
doing it too fucking hard.
yeah. Hey, some people take it personally. Some people like they
Really?
stop when you say any kind of give any kind of advice. They'll just stop and be like mad about it. So don't be that person. Be receptive to criticism and learn because this person is the expert on their body. So make sure you listen to them. But on your end, I think even if you don't know anything, let's say you're going to this like this is the first vagina you've ever seen, and you've never had any
Found a
practice,
vagina in the wild.
right?
Seen it close
Uh,
up.
so I think I think you need to adopt that kind of mindset where it's just like, wow, I've never seen this before. That curiosity mindset, that
Yeah.
the
That what does this
enthusiasm,
button do
right?
mentality.
I think you
Yeah.
need to be curious, and I think you need to be enthusiastic. Like if people ask me what my technique is, I actually don't have a technique. I don't like have a specific set of moves or whatever. Aside from building out the outside and then going there, but once I'm there, enthusiasm is the name of the game.
I like to say, go down on someone the way you'd make out with them.
Mm-hmm.
And like the clit is the tongue. So if you want to kiss somebody soft, kiss them soft. It's like a French kiss. That's why it's called an Australian kiss, because it's like a French kiss, but down under. So just make out. Just be
Yeah,
gentle, be rough, but
and I think that like again because pleasure when you're getting oral sex is partially psychological, the person that you're going down on wants to know that you want to be down there. They
yes,
want to know that you're not just there because you want to get it wet and get it over with. They want to know that you're like, no, there's no place I'd rather be rather than right up in
yes.
here. So make them feel it. Make noises, be like like that. And like don't be afraid to get sloppy.
Oh
Like
man,
there's some people who are like, "Nyeh,
I,
nyeh,
we're like, nah, no,
nyeh."
we don't need that. We don't need that. I want like
Yeah.
dribbling down your neck,
Yeah, it better be
dribbling down your
all over
chest.
your face. And you
Yeah.
can imagine, I've had this problem ever since I got a nose ring. It's been very difficult to do that.
Hope
I
nothing
can't do
snags.
my
Right.
usual, like motorboating your vagina type of thing. Like it's very difficult. But if I can still go down on a girl with a nose ring and make it enthusiastic, you can do it too.
You can do it.
So, what other tips do we got for people?
Okay, so we got pulsing.
So this is more
Pulsing.
like our
Right.
actual like
Yeah, these are
what
actual.
techniques to do.
Okay, so I aside from the making out, here's the thing that I learned from one of my sister's inappropriate friends is that you spell the alphabet, right? You spell the alphabet on the clit with your tongue, and that's good. That I mean, in theory, it's good, right? Because there will be some letters that are going to be amazing, and there are going to be other letters where you're going to be like, "What the fuck are you doing down there?" I would
X.
recommend that you stick with some. Yeah, you stick with some. A, X, Q, Q definitely. Uppercase and then
Things that
lowercase.
have like round, like
Yeah.
B,
B.
B,
Yeah, things
D,
that hit in the middle
O.
also. hmm
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah,
I think
that's
maybe
it
the
really.
benefit of the ABCs. Okay, so I think there is some. I will make an argument for it. You do the ABCs until you find the direction and the
Yeah, yeah,
movement that the person
yeah.
responds to great. You're like, A, okay, that doesn't work. B,
Pay
ooh, that
attention to
one
what
really
letters.
works.
Yeah. And then if you
And then
really
stick
want to
with it.
have fun, you do an ambigram in your head, an anagram in your head. You try to spell something, and then you try to make them guess what the fuck it is you're spelling.
Hey, that would be a cool activity.
Yeah.
Ideas. Of course, like your general up down movement, easiest for your tongue.
hmm
Round and
Wait,
round, left and right.
I'll be right back.
Be
2 seconds.
careful, of course, with your tongue because you could get a little injury there. So you can also go like sideways so that when you're even if you're doing an up and down, it feels like a left and right to them. Figure eights, sucking on the clit very gently. Also very can feel really, really nice. Just make sure not to do it too much. And this is something I learned recently from out of all the people in the world, a straight friend. Humming apparently seems to generate some really nice vibrations and feelings down there. So like as you're doing your tongue motions, try to like hum and vibrate your throat. It'll create a very different sensation,
Oh yeah.
like a nice rumbling.
But do not start humming "Hi Ho" from Sleeping Beauty. It's not the most romantic thing to be humming while you're down there.
You know what? My partner was like threatening me. She was like, I'm going to hum like the Super Mario like and then when you come, it's the one where Mario jumps on the flagpole.
Why are you humming that? Because I'm going in a tunnel.
It's like, don't threaten me with a good time.
So yeah, the ups and
Uh,
downs, the sucking on the clit, I think, is kind of dangerous. It's an advanced technique because we talked earlier about how the clitoris is sort of the parallel to the male penis, and I believe that. I believe that you can kind of treat them the same way if you see how they're analogs of one another. Licking a clit is basically just edging. You know, so if you suck on a clit, you suffer the same. You run the same risks as sucking on a dick, which you might suck on it too hard. I've sucked on a clit too hard, man. That's not pleasant.
yeah.
You might bite it. You might nibble
No
it too
teeth.
hard.
I mean, some people like
So
teeth.
yeah, some people like teeth. Again, it's very different. So sucking on the clit, I think, is a more advanced technique.
Yeah, I think it's something that maybe you should discuss with your partner, or
Hmm.
you try it very, very slowly and then see
And
how they react.
humming is more of a novelty. Try. I know it's not about blowjobs this episode, but the next time you're licking somebody's balls, hum. It's
Hmm.
awesome.
I'll check my schedule for my next dick appointment. All right, so I think last tip would be to be safe. You know, although the risk is significantly lower compared to other forms of sex, STIs can still be transmitted through oral sex. Um, you know, like there's bacteria down there, and I know that your vagina can also hold like much more virus, like a higher concentration of viruses, especially if you're on your period. So, yeah, there's a risk of STIs. It is lower, but if you want to be safe about it, you can use dental dams, or
Yeah,
if
that's
you can't.
sexy.
Yeah, that's very.
That's
Hey,
the
it's like using
sexiest
a
stuff.
condom for sex, right? We have to normalize it. Normalize dental
Uh,
dams, okay?
Dental dams are one of the most dehumanizing looking contraceptives in the world. Have you ever tried to fuck anyone wearing a dental dam? Jesus Christ.
I've never tried penetrative sex with dental dam, but I have tried oral sex. If you can't find dental dams, which you can normally find in like Mercury and other like medical supply areas,
Hmm.
you can just get a condom and cut it up,
Hmm.
like make it into a square, and then you like lay
Hmm.
it out there. That's a really great idea, especially because you can get throat cancer from HPV. Uh, Please get cervical cancer shots or HPV shots if you can to prevent this. Men or people with penises can also get these shots to
Hmm.
prevent throat cancer and also to pass it on from during sex. Um, Jubim, yes or no to brushing your teeth before oral
For who?
for the person
Because
you're going down
I've
on?
I've received good and bad feedback from that. Some people like the minty sensation, some people don't.
Mm.
If you want to brush your teeth because you yourself are conscious about like kissing after, then I suggest using a toothpaste that is not too minty. You know,
Mm.
maybe one of them flavored toothpaste or something with a more mild. The Arm and Hammer baking soda
Mm.
toothpaste is not that minty, so it's unless you're into that. So yeah, I'm for it as long as everybody is informed about the brushing of the teeth. Everyone's on the same
Generally,
page.
I would recommend brushing teeth because your mouth also has a shit ton of germs, right? And you don't want
Yes.
to
Yeah.
transfer those germs onto somebody else.
Yeah.
But one thing you do have to be careful about is that when you brush your teeth, you could cause micro tears in your mouth, which makes you more likely to contract an infection. So
Mhm.
that's just something to keep in mind. It's annoying because it's like good but also bad. How about going down on someone while they're on their period?
Yes. Ride
Yes,
the red tide,
absolutely.
Moses. Do it. Fucking
Yeah, I was checking the Wikipedia for cunnilingus, going back to my roots, and I saw that like the Hell's Angels called it earning their red wings
Yep.
because of like how the blood would like make patterns on your cheeks.
Hmm.
So it is safe to engage in oral sex while somebody's on their period, but again, keep in mind they might contain higher concentrations of viruses, especially stuff like hepatitis B. So
Hmm.
that's one thing. If they don't have hepatitis B, then you're probably fine.
Probably, probably.
Probably
It's a
you're
weird
okay.
thing to ask before going down on someone, though. Might kill the
You have
mood.
hepatitis B.
The B, huh? B.
B.
You're sure?
And
Anyway,
also, of course, get tested regularly. That's just any
yes.
tip that we have for literally everything. And finally, we have a customer here who said, I injured my tongue after licking for up to 8 hours. So try not to strain your tongue so much,
That's just
because you can.
ridiculous, man. I don't even do
Yeah.
things that I like for 8 hours. I can't imagine, like, ugh. Especially since I have this tongue tie. Like, look, do you see it?
Vaguely. Okay. Oh, yeah. All
Most
right.
parents choose to have that snipped in their children because it impedes singing ability and speaking. It causes
Oh.
stuttering in some children. It causes lisps. We had my son snipped for that reason. But yeah, I still have mine. So and if you look very closely, you'll see a nub on it, and that nub is actually a callus from the times that I've got like marathon gone down on people, and it's torn my tongue tie. It's actually torn into the tongue tie and healed so many times that I have a callus there on my tongue tie.
Well,
So
according
yeah,
to
be careful.
him, there were breaks, but he still saw a tear under his tongue the next day. And this is actually very common because you are straining your jaw and your tongue to get out there. But if you keep doing that, you're gonna keep tearing it, and it can also make you more likely to have contract STIs through your mouth. So try to take breaks. Maybe if you had a marathon cunnilingus session, give it a couple days before you try it again to allow your tongue to heal. But you should also care for yourself because your tongue is your instrument.
Mhm.
Imagine if you broke your penis every time you had sex, right? It's kind of like that. Care for your tongue.
Yeah, don't break your penis.
So that wraps up our discussions on eating the bean. Joe
Nice.
Bim, what is your takeaway from tonight?
Uh, Actually, I just had a pretty good time talking about like going down on people. I think it's just not a. I think it's not a thing that people talk about enough. It's one of those things that really needs to be destigmatized. It's about time. Blowjobs are already so normalized. I think that I'm not trying to lessen the conversation around blowjobs. I'm just thinking we should talk about cunnilingus on people who have vaginas in the same breath, in the same vein, the same way we do. And this was our way of moving in that direction.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons why a lot of people don't advocate for themselves in bed is because they don't know that it's completely normal to want this. They don't think they deserve it, or they think they won't enjoy it. And I think
Mhm.
just open yourself up to those possibilities, and communicate, because whatever you hear on the show, these are just suggestions. The
Mhm.
person that you want to please, that's the person you got to talk to. Awesome. Do you have anything you want to promote, Jobim?
Squid Game, dude. If you haven't watched it already, get on it. Squid Game.
Squid Game. Maybe we should do an episode on sex scenes in movies and
Oh, we
how they've
should, yeah.
contributed. There's a lot of discourse around that.
Man, that'd be a
Ah,
whole fucking season. We get the whole year on that.
awesome. I am at Trisha O'Bannon on Twitter. Make sure you follow me there, and also follow Now Open if you haven't already. We're at Now Open PH on Facebook and Twitter. Our past episodes are also available on YouTube, Spotify, and wherever else you get your podcasts. I'm pretty sure we just did a big episode dump. I love how I said I'm pretty sure, not staying
80,
on top of it.
86% sure.
But I'm like 96% sure we've done a mega episode dump. You just got to scroll back because we backdated it. So if you want to
And who
hear some
doesn't
of our
like
past
mega dumps?
episodes, They feel really good.
I know the Germans do.
So don't forget to subscribe to our coffee page. That's coffee.com/nowopenph to get bonus content. We upload our pre-shows and we talk about some ridiculous shit there and other special perks. One of which is a discount on our merch. And I know we've been talking about this for months, but it's actually happening. We are announcing the prices and releasing the store link this week. So make sure to check our social media pages so you know how to order. And if you sign up to our coffee as a monthly subscriber, you get 20% off everything in the merch store. So hopefully that'll convince y'all to sign up to our coffee.
Sweet.
And this isn't over. This isn't the end of the night if you don't want it to be. Wink, wink. So if you'd like to keep the conversation going, we will be migrating over to Now Opens Gather Town at the end of the show. So you can join us at bit.ly/Now Open Town. Left the link in the comments. You can just chill with the crew and other customers, and we can just talk and have a good time. So, Jabim, do you want to announce our next episode? Because this was your idea.
Yes. Okay. So I love David Attenborough and I love nature documentaries and I love watching animals get it on. So next episode is going to be Masahol pa sa hayop, sex in nature. It's going to be fun. It's going to be educational. It's going to be fungicational. See you when we next open.